Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes. Pieces is a form of art. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway, and in the driveway.
You know what time it is. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. It is double trouble time. All right, I'm the host, Jared A. Brown. I'm half of Double Trouble, and my twin brother and I, we interview the brightest minds in the digital marketing space. We're doing that again. All right, I'm so excited today because we have a super guest. I almost didn't make it actually because I had plans to go camping, but family I've got family members that are sick, and so they canceled or rescheduled the camping trip. So no camping for me, but I'm still a happy camper. So today we're going to be interviewing Jamie Gardiner. Jamie is originally from, he's originally, I'm going to think about this because he just said it. I want to say it right. He's originally from Australia. Nod your head, Jamie, if I'm right, but he lives in New Zealand. Is that right? No, the other way around. All right, it's the other way around. It's the other way around. My bad. He just said it too. So we're gonna be interviewing Jamie Gardiner. If you haven't met him or if you haven't interacted with him online, he's somebody who many people in the digital marketing space admire, respect. He has taught countless people. I mean, I've interacted with Kelly T. I've interacted with Liam Arthur, just to name a few, who have said very good things about Jamie Gardiner. So we're going to be interviewing Jamie Gardiner. I've got a co-host who's my womb brother, my twin brother. All right, Jeff Brown. And I also have Abby Worthington. Okay. And I'm going to bring those two on right now. And then we're going to bring on Jamie Gardiner. It's going to be a treat. All right. We're going to be interviewing Jamie Gardiner. All right. I'm so excited to do this. So I'm bringing on my co host first. Bear with me just a moment. Drop a comment, by the way, because I can't do this alone. Y'all be silly if you think I can do this alone. I need your help. All right. So don't be stingy. Drop a comment and crush that share button. That share button is there to be pushed. All right. It's like begging to be pushed. So push that share button. All right. You want to make sure you push it like Salt and Pepper said back in the late 80s, push it real good. All right, here we go. Where is that? Where is that? Here we go. Co-host, co-host, co-host. We go, go. Here we go, go.
Boom!
I always love the epic
Let's do it.
intros.
What is going on, everyone?
Let me use that sound effect again. It was really used it before. Let me use it again. Whoa. That was loud. It sounded like when the farmers on my street got shot. Or one of my
Jared and I were
one of my
trying
farmers
to
just
find
shot
some things. Jared and I were trying to find some things to do for value bombs, right? And he's like, let's get a sound for a value bomb. And he was so excited to try out this new sound for the value bomb. So that's what the sound is about.
It's like, yeah, that is. Yes, we're live right now. We've got a Facebook user from either Abby's or Jamie's Facebook group commenting. Yes, we are live. Okay, you're getting my radio face right now. I always have a radio face. What am I talking about? This is what I normally look like. So here we go. I'm super hyped. Kelly T, Liam Arthur, and so many other people. I know I'm leaving off some other names of other people that have just spoken very highly of Jamie Gardiner. Somebody whom they have learned from, that they call him a mentor, and that they wouldn't be where they are right now, wherever they are geographically or in their business, without Jamie Gardiner. And so I'm super hyped to bring him on. Abby, Jeff, what have you guys heard in the digital marketing space about Jamie Gardiner, and why are you guys excited? Like,
Well, I follow Allison Bell, and she's killing it, and she always speaks very highly of him. So I was excited when you guys asked me to join ya.
oh, very cool.
Right. I mean, he's been making
very
waves
cool.
for quite a while now. I mean, I remember when I first came into the scene, almost a year ago. I was seeing all sorts of things from Jamie and his ultimate affiliate group, and then so he does this thing of like, and I was following Allison Bell as well, and he was able, and he had the pleasure just recently sending Allison Bell an award because she reached,
Oh, wow.
10K plateau, right? And
Very
so
cool.
I remember, seeing, and I love seeing these unboxing awards videos from affiliate marketers, right? And so he had
Abby
the
knows
honor
what
of
that's about.
sending her out, this 10K award. Did you see that, Abby?
Oh yeah, I did. Yep.
Yeah.
And
she
I
has
got
one
mine.
herself.
I do. I got mine a couple months ago from PAB. So
Passive. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's bring our guest in. I'm excited about this. I'm
Let's
stoked.
do it. Let's do it. It's like I feel like it's Christmas Day at 3 a.m. and I'm waking up to presents or something. This is awesome.
It actually is.
Here we go.
It actually is 3 a.m. over here. It's 3:12 a.m. over here.
I love how international our audience is.
All right, here we
tonight.
go. Yeah, we're very sophisticated, a very sophisticated audience. Borderline silly, but that's okay. I like that. Here we go. There it is. Boom.
All right, welcome to the show, Jamie.
Jamie Gardiner.
I've never heard such a cinematic introduction. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you.
All right. So how's everything going in Melbourne?
Beautiful. Very beautiful. Sun is shining. It's a Saturday morning my time. Life is good.
Life is good.
We were saying just, backstage before we went live that you are probably the first guest where I'm able to say that you're hours ahead of me. You're 6 hours ahead of me here in Abu Dhabi. It's 9:14 a.m. where you are, and it's 3:14 a.m. here. I mean, this is what we do. We go international, man. Abby's in Michigan, right? Jared's in the state of Utah.
Well, I appreciate you staying up anyway.
Yeah, she's
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem. It's my pleasure. All right, so let's start this off. I started my affiliate marketing journey last September, and just out the gates, I remember seeing things about you on social media. When did this journey begin for you, and at what point did you decide to start being a mentor?
Yeah, good question. So for me, it was actually started in 2011. And at that time, I was working in the financial markets. And I was teaching people how to trade the financial markets, how to manage risk, and basically account management type stuff as well. And I thought, well, I'm doing this for a day job. I wonder if I could just bring this online and help folks out. And so I started setting up blogs, plural. I don't know why. Yeah, a little side note on that one: don't do multiple projects at once. It's just a waste of time. But I set up 3 blogs regarding the financial markets, like different things, foreign exchange and share market trading, things like that. And I tried and failed for many years. Like it was a very long journey. And so got into blogging, CPA marketing. The list is almost endless with the amount of stuff that I've tried. Went through a bankruptcy to 2015, set up an agency 2017 that kind of got me out of employment, which was nice. So I was self-employed, had one client pay me $1,000 per month, but I was like, yep, I'm leaving. And the next few years were really hard. And it got to the point in 2018 where I sort of just was broke for years and years and years even after the bankruptcy. And so then 2018, I started working for an agency. I was doing white labeling for them, as in I was managing all their Facebook ads. And that was cool. It was good. But then coming up to Christmas 2018, they ran into some financial issues and they couldn't pay the creditors, myself. And
oh no.
So I mean, yet again, just prior to Christmas, I was broke, having worked very, very long days in December leading up to that. So that was unfortunate. They did come clean. They did pay eventually.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of changed the game for a lot of people. And so at that time, that's when you decided to change things up, and that you kind of forced to?
Yeah, it was basically, I was taking stock of everything. And I thought, well, I don't really like the agency model anyway. It's something where you're exchanging time for money. And I guess you don't do that in any endeavor anyway. That's good for the starting point. But it was a little bit different because I thought I was trying to was trying to battle it out in very bloody waters, put it that way. And I thought, how can I take control of my own finances? And so that's when I pivoted to affiliate marketing in 2019. And so it was very hard. It was, again, I found myself broke for the umpteenth time in my life. It wasn't very fun. And so I was focusing on low ticket stuff. I didn't have a big audience. I still don't have a big audience, but I very much didn't have a big audience back then. And the kind of crazy thing was that I was trying to do something based on what I had seen in my own little sphere. And this kind of dumb thing was that I'd actually been in sales since about 2008. And so I'd sold everything from financial products right through to education, right through to event space, all that type of stuff. And for some reason, I didn't think about just bringing that skill set online. When I did, and I was able to basically just figure out that I can use that skill set online, things really took off. And I basically, from like trying to be everywhere, trying to be omnipresent, trying to do focusing on low ticket stuff for a very long time, I then got super focused on one offer, one method of conversion, and one audience, which is my Facebook group, essentially. And then within 7 days, cracked the first 1K day, backed it up the next day. And then that was my first 10K month. And then things kind of took off from there. So to answer you, it was a very long-winded. I told you guys I'm going to give you guys some long-winded answers to questions, but that was kind of when
no.
Because I realized very early on that so many people that are entering this world, they haven't sold anything before, and so I thought, cool, how can I use a skill set to help folks out? And so that's kind of it coincided with selling high ticket because that was part of my offer is to help.
All right. So what do you think some of your biggest like stumbling blocks and obstacles were right at that time in between 2018 and 2019 in this marketing industry?
Probably the biggest thing would be lack of focus. And this is something, and I absolutely plead with my students to follow my advice, but they, I don't know, maybe the ego gets in the way or whatever, but or they can't take my experience and run with it. But the biggest thing is that if you are not focused, if you're trying to be everywhere at once, then you're going to be nowhere. And so that was what I was trying to do, like throughout my tenure prior to that as well. So to paint some context, I never stopped being an affiliate, right? So 2011 right to now, I never stopped. Like I was trying to do affiliate marketing in the background, even through running agencies and things like that. And so, but I was just, I'd go to that traffic source today and I'll give that one a shot tomorrow and I'll set up a new Twitter account today. And like, I was just everywhere and trying to do everything. And so the biggest lesson, and hopefully I can pass something on to folks, is like, you literally only need one traffic source to get things moving. And I think that's the biggest mistake that I see so many people make is they're like, oh, I'm going to be over here today, I'm going to do the thing. And what happens is you end up getting basically creative fatigue. And so you can't just be everywhere at once. Like we're not programmed to be like that. And of course, as your business grows and you start to get more and more capital and it's like the self-fulfilling prophecy because you're getting cash flow in, so then you're going to free up more time. Then you can start to outsource stuff and start syndicating content and be everywhere at once a little bit more. Like you start to create a sense of omnipresence. But I think that would be the biggest thing. Other than that, there's a debate between high and low ticket, and some folks will say low ticket is the best. Some people will say high ticket is the best. I think a combination of both is ideal, but I would also argue that unless you have the capacity to build a substantial audience in rapid succession, I would say that high ticket is going to be the easiest pathway to cash flow, just because it sits at the top of the mountain, right? It's the highest amount of cash flow that you can possibly gain from your business. So therefore, I would start with that, meaning that you don't need a huge audience. Like I've got multiple examples.
Right. I mean, when you're first starting out, you've got to set goals. You have to have a vision, and then set actionable tasks to help you accomplish the goals that help you arrive at that destination, your vision.
100%. Yeah.
Some of the most difficult things for people when they're first starting out in the digital marketing space is content ideas. We've got to create content, every day. So content creation, what are some what are some suggestions that you could give people just starting out to have content ideas?
Yeah, good question. So content, I mean, it's such, I could literally talk about this for days. Like, it's such a huge topic. But in the interest of time, I understand it's 3 a.m. in the morning your time. So I'm trying to keep it on something practical and relevant. So, a lot of people struggle with content, and I think a lot of the time it's because people are trying to talk about a hypothetical. Right, so they're trying to talk like, here's how you hypothetically make a high ticket sale, because they haven't done it at that point. It's all this sort of like, I've taken the training, and I think I kind of roughly know what's going on. I've picked up some nuggets of gold here, and I'm like putting them out in the socials and whatnot. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's how I started as well. But I think what's more powerful is when it's based off your own experience, because it means that it comes from a very deep place of authenticity. So that way you're talking about stuff like, oh, here's how I've made my first high ticket sale. Like I referenced before, once I got clarity, it took me 7 days to hit my first high ticket sale. So I referenced that's nearly half a decade ago. I'm still talking about it now, right? And so that's based on stuff that I have actually done. I often reference like having 900 students. I often reference things like awards and things like that. And so if you're starting out, you think, well, that's great for you. You've got the things and you've been doing this stuff for a while. Yeah, true. And I have. I'm honored and super humble about that. But if you go and let's say hypothetically that you pull up your sleeves, you go and DM 100 people, and it's a pain in the butt, right? Like you're going to you'll get blocked, you'll piss someone off, someone else will like, whatever. But every now and then you're going to connect with amazing humans, and those amazing people, you build a relationship with them and you help them out with some stuff. And even though you don't know everything just yet yourself, because you're just getting started, you might be able to help them out with some stuff, right? And so you build that connection with that person. And then when it comes into your content, now you've got something to talk about. Like, here's my experiment from DMing 100 people, or here's how I got 3 inbound leads this week, or whatever. So that would probably be my biggest advice. Is basically go do some stuff, and then you've got some stuff to talk about effectively. Follow the guidance and the trainings that you've got. And then once you do have that, then it's just a lot easier to talk about. What I like to do in terms of just a general approach, especially to written content, I don't feel like I'm that great at my video content, to be fair. I have a YouTube channel. It's got I've unlisted about 400 videos recently, so it's got about 800 videos on that channel, and that I like, but I don't feel confident in producing YouTube content.
Wow.
It's not my forte, but I do love. But I'm like Terminator. I'm just going to keep going with it. I'm one of those people. So, but I do love the written stuff. And what I would say to folks, one of my favorite things to do is like just find a correlation. Like that's just in a broad stroke of things. That's one of the simplest pieces of advice I can give. And all I mean by that is, like say for example, I was to write something about this very interview, and I don't know what could I say? Double trouble, bro. How would I put that into? So I'd make a reference to the interview, and I'd say about how you never know where partnerships are going to connect from. And here's an interesting example. I hopped on an interview recently with 3 amazing entrepreneurs. We had a great time. We had a great chat about things. And that's exactly what it's like when you build a community, because you start to connect with like-minded people. And that's exactly what I teach inside my Ultimate Marketing Mastermind program. So all I did is I just made that up on the spot, right? But I'm just saying that there's a way to correlate things over to what it is that you're trying to promote.
Right.
And once if you get into the habit of it, it's actually really fun. You start to correlate all sorts of really random things like, a coffee cup.
Yeah. So say that last part again for the people in the back who couldn't hear you.
Which one? Coffee cup?
No, the
coffee cup.
The taxi driver. The guy in the back, the taxi driver.
Taxi driver.
The taxi driver behind Jared, he couldn't hear you.
Basically, if you can figure out how to correlate a topic and into whatever it is that where you want to direct the reader's attention, then you don't need to think about content. It sort of just pops up into your mind, because you can just start to correlate everything. Like, and I was joking about having a coffee cup. Right?
Boom! We just had a value bomb. Holy smokes!
Yeah.
Just fair warning, people. That was a value bomb. Just whoa. That's explosive, Jamie. So, it becomes an art form, and I know what you're talking about because Jeff and I, well, and Abby, are all familiar with storytelling, and you do have to make that correlation that you're talking about, because and it could be anything that happens during your day, really. You know what I mean? Like, I could, I could talk about chit-chatting with the clerk at the local convenience store when I got gas, or whatever it might be your day. And to me, that makes us relatable, because that sort of stuff happens every day to everybody. Somebody will during the day at a grocery store, or somebody will so I think somebody who's brand new, and I understand that I don't have to talk about my 10K a month. What happened to me, what happened today, and try to correlate to how my business journey goes. It's a great way to.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that.
It becomes quite fun as well, because you can pick up different things around your house, and you can start figuring out, like, how would I relate this back to something? How would I find a correlation? And once you do, you train your mind to start searching these out. Then, like you say, they're everywhere. Like, they're just, and then you're like, oh yeah, I could connect the dots there.
Yes.
Quite fun.
Right. And it helps them get to know you. Like, I made this random video outside in my yard where, all right, Jeff's going to laugh because he always does, but I have chickens. Okay. And I made this random video. I live in a rural area, Jamie. Okay. All right.
That's
I know
awesome.
I look like I live in New York City with the background, but I live in a
You
rural
can
area.
You can actually call him Farmer Brown.
I love my time in Utah. I went there way back in 2012. It's a beautiful place. So.
Oh, right on. Have been to Utah. Okay. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah, long time ago.
And I've got chickens. And so I did a short form video, and I repurposed it and put it on all of my channels, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, whatever. And I basically made that correlation where in the beginning, when I first got my hens, they were terrified of me, and they literally did not like me.
A lot of people usually are. People.
I know.
First impressions,
and much like everybody,
every person and every creature, every animal, right?
Much like everybody, they did this and they ran away like everybody else. They ran away, and they were terrified. But I've had them for about 2 years now, and so they still do this when they run, but they don't run away from me, and they know my voice. But it took a while, and that's what I did. That's what I kind of said in my videos. It took a while, and I said it's insane for beginners to think that, and if it does happen, it's lightning in a bottle, but it's going to take time to create an audience.
Yeah.
It's going to create time
100%.
for them to get to know you, to develop some sort of,
Jared,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I had something that happened to me that's kind of like exactly the same but different. We have a cat at our house, and this cat has wanted absolutely nothing to do with me ever since she was a small kitten, And
what is it with you guys and animals? Just
like everybody else.
No. So it wasn't until just recently. We've had this cat like 2 years now. Just now, this cat is turning around and looking at me. She just usually ignores me, right? And I don't know what the deal with cats are when they walk. They always want to bring up their rear end and show you their bum hole. I don't know what is up with that.
They
How did we get
do
here?
that to me. Maybe it's just you. I don't know.
This is a very unique interview. I'll give you that. It's very unique.
Yes, it is.
That's right. We talked about cats.
Content creation. Abby, you're really good about the storytelling.
You're getting. It's a different perspective, Jamie. It's a different perspective. You're getting a rear view perspective. Yes.
Yeah. So back to the content creation bit. What are some of your ways, Abby, of pinpointing what you're going to talk about in your content? Or how do you come up with content ideas?
Well, a lot of the time, I'm inspired by something random that I see that reminds me of some instance in my life that relates back to building a business. So it's kind of, I find that it usually is something that triggers a memory that has something to do with it. But that's just where I find mine.
I love random B-roll footage.
No, that's
for instance, Jamie, you were drinking coffee, right? I will set up my little tripod, and on the weekend especially, I like to do this on the weekends, is I'll set up my tripod and I will just record myself doing random B-roll footage, whether it's eating breakfast, drinking coffee, watering the garden, doing whatever. I'll just record random B-roll footage.
I'm terrible about B-roll.
Yeah.
I'm a
B-roll of the B-hole.
I excel at the C-roll that I don't do very well. That's the one I struggle with that one. I got bad grades in school with C-roll. And to this day, it's something I don't like to talk about. I don't want to talk about it right now. So
we won't.
Jamie, what you talked we're not talking about my C-roll.
We're not. Absolutely not.
Talked about we're not.
Never were.
It's not what we're talking about. Jamie, you talked about writing. You and that writing is more of your forte versus YouTube as an example. What brought in, or how to develop or create your copywriting or your skills for writing content?
Yeah, good question. So this might surprise a few people, but I failed English when I was at school, and I had to repeat that subject when I was 16, something like that, which then led to me quitting school. So I never finished school. I never went to university or college or anything like that. But I always enjoyed creative writing, even as a kid. Of course, things have improved ever so slightly since then, but I've always enjoyed creative writing. And so when I stumbled my way into the world of finance, I'd come from being a contractor, so I was doing construction, things like that, and I worked in a gold mine, did all sorts of random stuff, but found my way into that. And of course, that's where you have to be professional and you have to write in a very structured manner and kind of stuff. And so that kind of kicked things off in some regard, not the creativity side of things, but writing in a way that I forced myself into becoming proficient at responding to customer issues and different things like that, right? So that's probably the first part of it, which then led me to then start looking into writing just in general. But not to put too fine a point on it, but you can't really bypass the reps, if you know what I mean. I've been writing, I'd say at least a 200 to 500 word post or email or whatever, pretty much every day for the last 4 or 5 years, something like that. Since no, maybe about 4 years, something like that. Very rarely will I have a day off, and even if it's just something that I don't actually post, I will probably just I'll have an idea and I'll start just loosely writing something, not necessarily even completing it. So yeah, that's kind of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a student of the game as well. Like I'm
Absolutely.
just a
You
real
always
nerd.
have
Like
to be.
I
I mean, we're forever
yeah.
continuously learning things, and
Like my downtime, I often spend absorbing more marketing stuff. So perhaps I need a life. Maybe that's the point. But yeah, just honestly,
you get really into it though. I mean, the ongoing
Yeah.
learning is what keeps you on point, right? You can't just
Yeah.
stop, because then you can't
So-
provide value to people. So
it sounds really cliche, but it's become such a passion. Like I literally, I freaking love absolutely everything that I do. When it comes to online, there's elements that I don't, of course, but like I love pretty much everything I do online. It's amazing. But a lot of it just comes down to repetition. Just
Wow, that's
write one
cool.
thing. And I think the other thing as well is
Well,
that,
when it's authentic,
yeah. I was just going to say that the other thing as well is like I feel like so many of us, and I'm a prime example of this. Like when you're getting started, you don't really have confidence because you don't really know what to write. You don't really know what to put content out about, and so that's when you put this pressure on yourself to create good content. And so one of the problems is then you start to compare yourself to existing marketers. And so I've done the same. I compare myself to other people, and of course, if you're and I don't say this out of a place of ego, but if you're getting started and then you see something that maybe I write or some other marketer writes, and you're like, man, that's crazy. And so then if that's your basis of comparison, it's not going to live up to that, because you got to understand, like I say, I've been doing this for years, and my downtime is absorbing more marketing stuff and going over marketing notes. It's like I've been in the game for a little while, so therefore it's a tough basis of comparison. But at the same time, in order to develop that confidence, it's just about putting in the reps and basically showing folks that I'm here, consistent, things are improving. Like, how can I restructure this a little bit better? If you sell stuff, right, that's a massive, like, it's a sign that you're ticking a box, you're on the right process. So if you craft an offer, even high or low tickets thing, you make a sale, then clearly someone has read your stuff or absorbed your video content, whatever, enough to like you, and then end up buying from you type stuff, because you can deliver value and deliver a solution to their problem. So that then means you start to build confidence, so it has a cyclical effect. So then you're like, oh, I wonder if I can improve a little bit more next time. It kind of goes from there. So yeah.
that
Wow.
question that you flashed was a really good one.
Let's look at it again.
It was
The
was about
repurpose one.
talking about your offer. Yeah, it was about talking about your offer, whether or not to talk about your offer. So content, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
I mean, part of it is talking about your offer, but not as much as you would think, in my opinion. I feel like I'm always surprised with how little you need to talk about your offer until you actually are talking like one-on-one with somebody.
It's
Right.
it's an interesting.
No, it's an excellent
I agree with that.
question.
But see, it's kind of like I look at it this way: if you're constantly just addressing your offer or your digital product every single time you're putting out a video or creating content, then that's going to get repetitive, and your audience is going to grow tired of it.
And you're not building that connection with people, right? So
Right.
if you're just selling constantly, nobody knows anything about you and can't build their connection with you.
Then they're going to feel like they're always just being pitched to.
Right.
And Jared doesn't like sons of pitches, do you?
I don't like sons of pitches. I don't. And there are times where I play baseball in my garden, okay, and there are a bunch of garden hose and sons of pitches there, and I
I'm going to
never
add that
know
to my
what to
repertoire.
expect.
I need to write this one down. This is going to have a keep an eye out for an email later. I'm gonna borrow this.
Jamie's writing that down.
But-
inspired him.
he's writing it down.
You can take inspiration from anywhere.
Hold on. Let me
think about content.
But But Abby, you're right though. There's no connection. There's no connection if all you're doing is trying to sell. All and to a lot of beginners' defense, it's sometimes really not their fault because they're just not being trained otherwise. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of bad info.
Many
out
of
there
them
if you don't.
are just, yeah, right. They're given bad advice or bad training, if I can say that without being disrespectful, is that they're not necessarily being given training to build rapport. They obviously, they sometimes feel as though that's their whole point of being online.
That's a good question. That's a good question for you then, Jamie. When you have a group, and I believe it's called the Ultimate Affiliate Group.
Yeah.
Okay. So in your group, how is it that you're teaching your students to develop the know, like, and trust factor with their audience?
Yeah. So there's a very specific word that springs to mind, and Abby kind of like hit on this before, which is you are building a personal brand. And so, I've heard a couple of schools of thought when it comes to content. One of my former mentors, are not part of this thing anymore, but he always used to say that no content should live outside of your program, and meaning that you should always try and tie it back to like, today what we talked about inside blah 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 is XYZ. I don't really buy that because in my opinion, it's like you've got to build the KLT, the know, like, and trust factor. You got to build that depth of relationship, and you got to be authentic, right? And so, if you're being authentic, you're not going to be selling all the freaking time. Like it's just that's not the case. And I think it's about displaying a little bit of vulnerability every now and then. It's about being a leader, and I think that the biggest thing, and just kind of on a subtopic, really is the more authority you can create, the easier it is going to be to sell, basically. And so that is, I would make that a habit, an absolute habit, because you need to give people a reason to actually consume your content. Some people, I've seen that they write really, really well, but like, it's like, why would anyone pay attention to you as an upstart personal brand?
Right.
And I don't mean
so in other words, sometimes we need to just step back and ask ourselves, am I giving people a reason to watch my videos and to view my content?
So given you guys really like your dad jokes, I've got one for you. It's what's your prospect's favorite radio station? WIIFM. What's in it for me? Right? Because no one really gives a crap about us, realistically.
Nice.
Right? So, but,
nice.
But we need to give them a reason. We need to give them it's such a, my students will be rolling their eyes.
That goes.
Jamie, you've said that about 5,000 times, man. But like, if you,
I love it though. I love it. I'm going to use that.
Well, I'm going to borrow your one. The sons of pictures. That's amazing. But yeah, basically, if you make a habit of
we'll use each other's
reason to listen to you. It's what it's all about. And to address some of the folks, if you're relatively new and you're like, I haven't made sales yet, and I don't really know what to do, blah blah. 5001 and counting. I'm glad. Hopefully, someone's keeping a spreadsheet of that. Yes, thank you. Don't know who that is, but love you guys too. I'll come up now. I've got a new dad joke. And Sons of Pictures is going to be my new dad joke. What was I going to say?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're relatively new and you're like, well, how do I create authority? Well, this is what I was saying earlier. Go do some stuff, right? So go and experiment. Go get an inbound lead. Like I always say, I feel like I say it every week, but pick up your phone, take a nice little selfie, put that in your stories, put a little poll option that has you want my free guide on XYZ? Yes, maybe. Yes, please. Whatever. Get one of those in a day. You've now got an inbound lead that you can communicate with them in Messenger. Now you've done something. Now you're like, cool, okay, well, we can talk about that. Here's my simple process I use to get inbound leads. Want to learn more? Yeah, I want to learn more. That's awesome. How are you getting inbound leads? Because the person that doesn't get inbound leads, they're like, well, how are you doing that? Right? And if you go and spend some time engaging with folks, then you're going to build up your own engagement. So therefore, you've done some of that other stuff. Or if you invite, even if it takes you manually messaging whole bunch of people, but you get your first 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 members into your
Absolutely.
group. Now you've done something, right? Now you can talk about that based on what you've done. And that the person that is behind you, or as I like to say, they are lower than you on the rungs of the ladder, they're going to be like, hey, how did you get your first 20 members of your group, your first 50? Like that's and so
how did you get on that rung?
Like,
yeah,
like and the sneaky little advantage that people can't really conceptualize until you've sort of been playing the game for a little while is that people that are at that level, you have a competitive advantage because it's easier for someone who's just getting started to communicate with a person that's just one or two rungs above them on the ladder, as opposed to, and I don't say this out of ego, but perhaps myself, right? I've been doing it for ages. I'm like, a bit of a grandpa when it comes to this stuff, right? And so therefore they might feel like there's too much of a gap between where I am, where they are. And so
and that's easy. That's very easy to do. Yeah,
more relatable.
Right. That's something very significant. As a matter of fact, Abby, I think you should write that one on your board in back of you there.
What, the rung thing?
There are about 3 or 4 nuggets, but
yeah, there was a lot in that.
Sorry.
No, that's good. No, that's absolutely true. And like the level of accessibility that someone who started a year ago versus someone who started 10 years ago is very different. And just how much content you have out there also can not dictate, but influence people on like how comfortable they are approaching or having a conversation with you.
You got to think about so when I was in advertising, we used to have like top, middle, and bottom of funnel type stuff, and it's something that I kind of added. It's something that I put in the back of my mind. I hadn't really thought about it up until recently, where my mentors started sort of diving back into that type of stuff as well. So you got to think like top of funnel. That means like people that are like just discovering who's this person. Why should I bother to listen to them, right? And so that means that you need to put out content that resonates with them, sorry. And so that's why I say like the authority stuff is really powerful, because if it's like, hey, like, and sometimes it feels very egotistical when you're saying it, because like, I've done a bunch of stuff and I'm awesome and my students are amazing and I have many leather-bound books and all that type of stuff. But you have to do it because you need to give people that reason to like actually consume the rest of it. And then every now and then you put in bits of content that are just like a bit of a joke, or like something that expresses an authentic side of who you are, which then means that they are slowly working their way down that funnel, ready to buy. So,
and it's about bringing
and that takes time, and that's.
Go ahead, Jared. Yeah.
No, you're
go ahead.
You're right. It's about the. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead,
Jeff.
I just feel like we're stuck in a time warp. No, you go ahead. No, you go first. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Okay, I'll speak. I've got something to say.
He's just frustrated. I was born first. Okay, he's still mad about that. It's how many years? Okay, I'm sorry I came out first.
I always give this guy an opportunity, and he always feels like he doesn't have a chance to get a word edgewise.
Oh, that's classic. You made a comment. You said it takes time, and yes, it does.
Really?
However, something interesting is that you can condense time, and you can create a wormhole when it comes to that, and get the KLT, the know, like, and trust factor very, very rapidly in a lot of cases. So what I teach, and one of the things I tell folks to do is basically, if you're creating a community of some kind, Facebook or any other platforms for that matter, going back to my comment, like give people a reason to listen to you, right? And so therefore, if they enter your community and it's just another community online, there's a trillion of them out there now, you got to think, well, what is going to get them a ton of value, and for them to see me as some sort of authority figure that can potentially solve their specific problems for them. Okay, and so if they jump into your group, then have a couple of assets lined up. So number one is like a lead magnet. I call mine a welcome pack. It's basically just a thing that my wife created on Canva. It's just like a 5-page thing you can swipe through. It gives a bit of info about me. Also, a few testimonials from students. I show some of the awards I've given out. And then there's I think it's actually quite long. It's about 40-something minute training, which probably is a bit of overkill given that folks have never seen me before. It's probably a bit too long, but it works. And then there's just a call to action on the other side of it. So I've had folks that have never heard of me before, and they will jump into my group, and then in a day, literally 24 hours later, they will buy a high-ticket product. And so that is because you can, space-time continuum, you can squish it all down if you want to through that. The other thing is I have like a welcome video or a series of guides, like in the guide section.
Okay.
And as long as that does basically three things, and this is like lead magnets 101, but number one is a little bit about you, your journey, tiny little bit, because no one really gives a crap, but they care how you can help them basically. And so then when you do that, then the next part is so authority, value, and CTA of authority, value, call to action. So authority, like, hey, I'm awesome. I'm the better looking of the twins. I've done a bunch of stuff online. I blow shit up for a living. Whatever it is, whatever your job is. I chase headless chickens around my yard for a living, and I
and by the way,
I
Jamie,
love catbots. So
and by the way, Jamie, he has a name for each one of those hens.
I love it. That's cute. I can't wait to get chickens. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to move to the country. So what that will do, right, is if you're able to elevate authority, and by the way, it's a very unnatural thing for most of us to do. Most of us aren't braggadocious by nature, and so we have to get that part out of our mind, because it's not bragging. It's
very
not,
true.
It's not ego. It's not arrogance. It's literally just talking confidently about what you have done and how you can help people. And
well,
so now they're like, I'm intrigued.
Let's underscore here confidently, right? So we talked about earlier establishing, authority, with your audience, and then getting comfortable talking to your audience. And sometimes that's difficult for people to do, to get out, step out of their comfort zone and to feel comfortable doing just that.
Can I tell you a secret on that? I'm
Please divulge.
Petrified of public speaking.
Okay.
Petrified. I would rather shoot my leg off than public speak. I hate it. But I will do it because my goals are so much more important to me than that. And so I will leverage that to overcome my insecurities, basically. To the point where now, I love going live. I actually find it harder to pre-record video. I love going live. It's weird. So anyway, my point is that you don't
interesting.
Your confidence will come from, ironically, it's like a little cycle. If you start talking about the stuff that you've done, and even if all you've done is you've opened a new group, you're like, I'm so excited to be on this pathway. I've just opened a new community, can't wait to fill it with amazing human beings. Yes, right. And so then you get your first 50 members, and now you've done something. Now you get an inbound lead. Now you've done something. You get a low ticket sale. Now you've done something, and then what happens is that then fuels your mindset, because now you're getting confidence, and it's evidence suggesting that you're on the right pathway. And so therefore you become more confident in the thing, and you start talking about it more and more, because blah, blah, and you create this energy around yourself, and then people are magnetized towards that energy because they're like, something's happening over here. Those crazy twins, they're, or wait, where are you guys?
Yeah, those double
They're causing a stir.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing, but they're causing a stir.
And
hey, Mom, go get that.
I don't know what accent he's trying to portray here.
Yeah.
At some point in these live broadcasts, Jared just starts making a fool of himself. And he's just acting a fool right now.
That's not hard
Love
to
it.
do.
Life's too short to take yourself too seriously, right?
Yes. Yeah. Lambo, bring in a little gem here. I like that.
The progression of action leads to greatness. Jared, Lambo was thinking you were impersonating the Macho Man. The Macho Man, Randy.
Slip into a Slim Jim.
Oh, brilliant.
Awesome.
There's a comment
But
before,
we-
if you don't want me jamming on this.
Yeah,
for a
let's go
second,
back to that.
Someone said the first sale is the hardest.
About the
and it is. It's the 0 to 1
Yes.
is usually the hardest from a mindset perspective. What I do though, this is really counterintuitive advice that I give to folks. If you've never sold anything before, there's one of two things that you can do. One is, if you haven't sold high ticket before, two things. One is either leverage the mechanisms that are available to you as an affiliate, right? So if you are promoting, like my program, for example, I will just speak about that because I think it's the best example. But if you're promoting my stuff, I've got things like a call funnel, right? So if you want me to have a chat to your prospect, just send. You don't even need to sell anything. Just like hop on a call. Jamie's really chilled out. See if it's the right thing for you, right? And I have zero interest in trying to sell to someone if I don't think it's the right fit, right? So that's a mechanism. It means that it takes the pressure of having to sell something off the end user, right? So and there's a bunch of them out there. There's like ascension models, $7 thing, and the team does the selling to the upsells, things like that. There is webinars. You just throw someone into a webinar and they buy stuff, like whatever you've got there to use at your disposal, until such time as you have the confidence to perhaps do it yourself, right? So that's one thing. But absent of that, the other thing that can build a ton of confidence is, a lot of the time, if you're getting started and you say basically, hello, random stranger that we've just connected with online, give me $5,000. And they're like, what? Why? Like, it feels really uncomfortable for most people. They're like, oh, it just feels, that's way too sale. That's a son of a pitch thing right there. I'm not going to do that. And so because it is, people usually won't pull the trigger on it. And so the counterintuitive advice is either one, like I say, use the mechanisms at your disposal, or go the other way and hammer low ticket stuff until you get the confidence up. Right, so it sounds really counterintuitive because you're like, but I want the high ticket sales. I know you do, but like, in order to get that confidence up, like, it's easier just to say, hey, random stranger, look, I've got this thing. It might not be for you. It's $5. Like, there's a refund policy if it's not the right thing, but do you want to give that a shot? Right. Like, and most people feel comfortable with that because it's not, not asking folks for $5,000, $1,000, 20 grand, whatever it is, right? So that's what I would suggest, and then just get the reps up. Because it becomes self-fulfilling because you now got
right.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Repetition.
This is really appropriate. I think
this is amazing.
Level hit the nail on the head here.
Oh, I love it.
That's exactly right. I mean,
nice.
I mean, we've talked about cats. Right, we've talked about sons of pitches, and now here we go, dry humping the pitch.
Brilliant, that is brilliant. But you usually feel more confident.
Well, the garden hose are watching.
Right? So then the evidence starts to suggest I'm on the right pathway, and then ironically, here's what else happens: is you go, okay, well, I made a sale, so if that worked, I probably just need to double down on what I did to make that happen. So then it helps you remain focused because you're like, oh, well, this is working. I'm just going to keep doing this.
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden you've got cash flow and you've got choices. And then the gap from that low ticket up to the high ticket is nothing. Because now here's the other crazy thing as well. This is like true business 101. But if you're aiming for LTV, lifetime customer value, and you take a $10 buyer, $100 buyer, $50 buyer, whatever it is, right? And you put a disproportionate amount of value to start with. And it might mean that you have to cut your teeth. You might have to give up some time and energy to help folks out as best as you can to start with. But what happens is these buyers, if they've had a good buying experience, they are 60 to 70% more likely to buy from you again. 60 to 70%. And I'll give you a couple of examples. I've got folks in my audience, bless you, I love you guys so much. There is a couple that spring to mind, and their lifetime customer value is well over $5,000 for my business. But here's the crazy thing. They have not purchased any high ticket stuff of me, right? It's all based on the lifetime. It's all
smaller stuff.
I say, because like they don't need the full program. They just need this one little issue that they're experiencing solved. And if I've got an affiliate product or my own stuff, like, well, hey, here's this content framework. Okay, that seems reasonable. I'm going to grab that. And so that's crazy to think of, right? And so if you do that, the other part of it is like you start to create your own economic environment. So if I go out and I'm brand new and I go and sell 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 low ticket things without worrying about the high ticket stuff, just to get my confidence up, but I've now got 50 repetitions of that, which I'm not saying it's easy, but like you've got 50 reps of it. So now you're like, shit, I can do this. It's awesome. But then you've got 50 buyers. And so then
you get more confident.
If you'd like to see the simple process that I've been using and the mentoring that I've been using to learn all this stuff, I'm taking just 3 people with me this month that are going to go on this journey together. We're going to I don't really know everything myself. I'm not I'm not a guru just yet, but this is what I'm doing. I'm really excited. I'm taking only 3 people. So now you've got 50 buyers and you've just created your own economy, right? So it's supply and demand. You're capping out supply, 3 people, and hopefully there's a lot of demand because you've looked after these buyers. And when you do, bang, now business is really easy. Don't need funnels, don't need like crazy automations, don't need any of that stuff. Just concentrate on that and you'll be balling.
Right. So I mean, that I love the way you elaborated on the fact that you should be concentrating, focusing on one thing first before concentrating on multiple things and getting distracted.
100%. There's a comment there, and I'm pretty sure I know who that is. Thank you, by the way. Some of the custom stuff, and so that, like, obviously, cut my teeth in affiliate marketing, but I have helped a range of different people from different walks of life wanting to achieve different things. And sometimes just having that game plan in place, like, for example, I'm pretty sure she's referencing a low ticket membership, which I've
so you know exactly what this Facebook user is talking about, huh?
I know many of my students very well.
I'm curious though, Jamie, how does it make you feel when somebody in your group, your community has some success? And I'm not saying that it all attributes to you, but how does it make you feel? What kind of sense of gratification does that give you when you've got a student that has some success?
Right. As for instance, we were just talking about Allison Bell. You were able to send her, a 10K award recently.
Yeah. Look, that
wow, what kind of a feeling that must have been.
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. But interestingly, here's something, because I get more gratification when it's the non-tangible things. It's not like the money is one thing. I think that's beautiful, and I love when people have like absorbed my content, absorbed my mentoring, whatever, and they like making cash. That's amazing. But what happens on the back of cash flow is not the monetary thing. It's the confidence that people gain within themselves. And that there is like, oh, cool, I can go out and I can go onto a social media platform and I can build a personal brand and I can DM some folks, I can create content and I can sell some stuff. Like that, to me, that is the win. I think the awards are awesome and I love giving them out, but the real win is the mindset stuff. Really interesting. Here's one for you. Last night, I saw one of my blessed students and she did her first Facebook Live. And I thought, and she presented really well.
Okay.
And she said, I messaged her saying, hey, congrats, you did really well. And she said, I was shitting myself and nearly wet my pants. I'm like, well, I wouldn't have seen that. You did really well. It was amazing. But for me, and there's no financial gain on the back of that for her. Like she hasn't made a sale off the back of it. But
Right.
I know that the feeling of like, oh, I can get up and speak publicly. Like it's not like something that I can't do. I have.
That's awesome.
I can do it. And so those are truly the biggest wins for me, and that's what drives me is just getting those folks, and even non-customers as well. Like I've helped hundreds of thousands of people by now, I think. So with different things, and it's always those. It's the mindset stuff, and I think is the biggest thing.
Right. I mean, that must be just instant gratification when you see your students excelling and having this sort of success. I mean, you've had a number of students reach pinnacles of success from, recently Allison Bell, but Liam Arthur is also one of your students who's reached success.
Yeah, 100%. And he's actually a really prime example of what I was saying before, where he jumped into one of my low ticket things for $9. And for some, I don't know why, but for some reason it just clicked in his mind. This $9 pro, it's a pretty good workshop to be honest, but it's still something clicked into his mind, and he sold it. And he sold like, I think it was like 40 or 50 units of it. And I was just like, who's this dude? What are you doing, man? This is crazy.
Wow.
And so, but he still hadn't touched any high ticket stuff. That was the crazy thing. But he had, like, what had happened is exactly what I said. He basically lined up, gained his confidence, doing smashing, joined my program, and then like literally 36 hours later, because he'd already looked after nurtured his customers, and he already like really helped them out with some stuff as best as he could, based on his knowledge base. And so therefore it's just a lot easier just to go, hey, by the way, just join this thing, it's pretty cool, you guys want to check it out? Yeah, okay, I'm coming with you. Like, it's
that's where his confidence is.
Yeah, 100%. Right. So and then that just like catapulted really quick. So I think it was 49 days it took him to hit that mark, which was really nice. So yeah, it's awesome.
I agree with that.
Very
completely.
cool. I love success stories. Yeah, and you're right. It's not, the success doesn't always hinge on money, of course. That doesn't always quantify happiness. And when you're seeing somebody develop and show signs of doing something that's uncomfortable, Jeff says this all the time, and and I love it, is that we've got to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yeah. Because if you don't do the uncomfortable things, you're not going to learn and grow.
Yeah.
Well, and it may take you, like, everybody takes a different amount of time to start seeing success, but if you have the mindset that you will be successful and you stick with that, then you will. It's just not everybody's going to have it on the same timeline. So I think that's much more important than seeing cash right out of the gate, is understanding how to reframe it.
All right. And sometimes, Abby, I think it's a matter of it is a matter of mindset and knowing how to calibrate that mindset to get to that point.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to shoot myself in the foot from a marketing perspective here, but let's go for it. So what you need to understand, if you're relatively new, is that we're marketers, and we are, excuse the French, but we're fucking good at it. Like, that's how we got to these levels, right? And we've been doing it for years. And so the thing to bear in mind is when marketers are making these grandiose things, and we're showing the highlight reels of the folks that are absolutely smashing it, what happens is it plants a seed in the mind of our prospects, right? Of everyone. Because even me, like, I'm joining programs, I'm thinking the same thing. It's like, I can scale to 500K in 3 days, no worries at all. Like, and so, but what happens is that creates a false expectation, because I referenced Liam, right? 10K, 49 days, but most people aren't Liam. That's the thing, right? Most people aren't. And so, there is going to be those outliers that come and absolutely obliterate it and just smash it. And so as marketers, that's what we're highlighting. So then that creates this thing like, well, they look, act, and think like they seem very much like me. So I believe that I can do it, which of course that's the whole goal. Of course you can do it. But what I would suggest is, instead of looking at a finite thing, like, okay, over the next 90 to 180 days, I want to make X amount. I would stretch that out and just, I'm going to echo something that I heard from Alex Hormozy recently, which was basically, he was referencing Simon Sinek, Start With Why, the author of that, pretty interesting character. But what he was talking about is, if you change the frame of the game itself, if you change the frame, instead of like looking at going, oh, okay, well, I need to make 10K per month, which is a great goal, by the way. It's amazing when you hit that. But if you stretch that out and the goal changes to just staying in the game and playing the game as long as you can, then what it means is you're creating a different horizon for yourself. And as part of that, what's going to happen is the goal shifts. So it means that you're focusing on what you can control, which is literally only 3 things that you need to worry about. Keep building your audience, keep adding value, keep making offers, right? Literally, that's it. And if you just keep doing that over an extended period of time, something will
because those are things that you can control.
Yeah, trade on the inputs which dictate the outcomes. And what that means from a mindset perspective is that you're detached. Because like what happens is we all want the money, right? We're all like, oh, I'm chasing the sales now. But if you change it to like, well, I've got this thing, it's really cool. I know it's going to help these types of people. It might not be the right fit for everyone. And I'm completely fine with saying, hey, I'm going to bow out at this stage. I don't think this is the right vibe. If you hold that in your mind and you are playing the long game, that's when you're going to make a ton of cash, because you're finding your people and you're also looking after people. right? Like I know what I have is not going to be the right fit for absolutely everyone, and I have no issues telling people that as well, right? So if you're doing
I
that,
love
and you
how
play
you
the
give
long game,
context to that, because we hear often like you can't be about the money, like you're not going to be successful if you're all about the money. But the way you contextualize that makes so much more sense than just saying you can't be about the money, right? Which is all
yeah,
I usually hear. That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
yeah.
Totally.
I think it's kind of sad
Yeah.
because our
Well said.
the way that we. Sorry, I was just going to say I feel like the problem with this game is that the only measurement of success is money, and like I say, for me,
I
the
know,
biggest
right.
thrill I get is when someone like grows as a human being, because what happens is the money is going to come as a byproduct of that, right? It's the deployment of the skills that is the relentless consistency that you have to deploy, things like that. So yeah, yeah, that's my take on it.
He's trying to touch the taxi car. It's not working, Jared. So if you were to tell Jamie, people coming into this industry right now, because of what you know from 2011 until now, people coming into this industry now, what would you tell them, knowing what you know now that you didn't then, as far as advice coming into this
Yep.
industry right now?
Perfect question. Really good. So,
That's a good question.
a couple of things, a couple of cliches I'm going to lob out. Number one is look at the what. The how, not the what. Okay, so what I mean by that is, like, if I'm a marketer and I'm selling stuff, then like if you as a potential customer, you're looking at that, but I would encourage you to look at how people are selling. Okay, because if you take away, like, I don't need this like super secret funnel or this like crazy new traffic source, like none of that's really going to fix the issues. I mean, it might help, but what you ideally want to concentrate on is the raw fundamentals: sales, marketing, offer creation, mindset, right? Branding. Those are kind of the main things, right? If you concentrate on those, they don't change. It doesn't matter what platform you go onto, they do not change. It's all based on human psychology, which may evolve over a few hundred years, but it's pretty much regimented in those things. And so if you understand that, you understand how to craft an offer that resonates, then it takes away the need for, and I know this is always ironic given I won awards and stuff, but it takes away the need for funnels and automations and, you know, all these kind of like cliches, like, hey, build a list and all that type of stuff. Yeah, it's super important. It is one way of doing it, but you don't need to start with that, right? Like I personally think that if you have one offer, it's high ticket, one traffic source, and one method to convert those customers, that's literally all you need to make 10, 20, 30K. And then you can start to expand upon that. That's my take on it.
Right. So just starting out, would you
Love
recommend that people just focusing on one social media platform or traffic source?
Just keep focusing on it, because think about this. This is what, here's my journey, and I'll speak. This is why I'm really passionate about this, because I know how much further ahead I would have been if I had taken the advice I'm trying to give folks now. So what happens is, if you're cruising along, you've just joined a course or a program, or you're like, hey, this is awesome, blah, blah.
Yeah, whatever
And
it is. Yeah.
Let's assume that all things being equal, the program is good and you're getting the help that you need, right? So you're cruising along, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden you go to there's a new traffic source over there. So what's happening is you're doing a full 90-degree turn. And if you've already got momentum, now you've just changed direction. And so you actually have to start again to build that momentum up. And so one of the tricky parts of being an entrepreneur is, because we all have
rerouting,
is like putting the blinders on. Yeah, and just going, no, look, that's a great opportunity. I would love to consider that, but just not now until I get this thing happening. And so if you doggedly focused, and it is hard, don't get me wrong, I get opportunities all the time.
Right.
Like,
Especially at the beginning, because you get that the shiny object syndrome quite often.
Yeah, because so, oh man, you guys have hit a vein or something like that. I'm kind of
like, the shiny object syndrome. Is that what he just said?
No, well, for me, it's something a little bit different, because if you think about a traditional workplace, then it basically means that you become what we call an intrapreneur, intrapreneur, right? So it means that there's a hierarchy of decisions that you have to make as part of your job, but you don't have to deviate. You're not making the decisions of the CEO or the finance director if you're not the finance director, or like whatever it is, right? Like there's a subset of decisions that you have to make.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you start to do what we're doing, now you're becoming an entrepreneur. And that means you have to take care of all the decisions. And that's freaking hard because you don't have the confidence because you don't know.
Let's underscore that. An ultra entrepreneur.
Yeah, intra and entrepreneur. So intra is like where you're governed by a hierarchy of decisions as part of a corporate structure, for example. Entre is where you, obviously what we're doing, you have to make all the decisions, right? So you're the finance director, the CEO, the marketing director, the ops, the customer service, the sales, like you're doing everything. And so that can be tricky because if you're like, okay, well, I'm following the thing from the program, I'm going in this direction. And so you don't have the confidence just yet because you don't like, is this really what I should be doing? I mean, I mean, they said I'd make 10K in 90 days. And it's just like, I'm kind of like doing this thing and like, just not sure. And so that's why, and as marketers, like we're clever. We know this shit.
Right.
So we, of course, if we go, okay, well, I can speak to that pain point because I know that around about this 60 to 90 day mark is when your brain's just going, oh, it's not working as fast as I want. No, there's probably something easier over here. And as marketers, that's like, and then you need to be really, really conscious of this stuff because otherwise you're just forking out cash left, right, and center, and you're not really learning the true things that you need to be learning, which is sales, marketing, all the hard stuff that people try to avoid because I just want the hack, I just want the thing, and then I'll concentrate on that. Shortcuts. So that's what I'd advise is like, yeah, just don't avoid doing the hard work. It's
amazing, man. The wealth and fountain of knowledge. I mean, I literally could just pick your brain all day long on several topics on affiliate marketing. Yeah, it's truly been a pleasure, Jamie, to have you on our show as a guest.
You had the value bomb over all time, constantly
the
during
entire
the show. Exactly, but it's so many nuggets, so to speak, and so many good things inside shared, Jamie, and I really thoroughly have enjoyed this interview.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to be thinking about weird cats and hens for the rest of the day, I think. And sons of pitches, that's a new one. Borrowing your line.
That's right. Maybe a hybrid, a chicken cat, one that's like both, with a cattail.
That's brilliant. Yeah. Hybrid.
Yeah.
No, this has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, folks got a bit of value out of this as well.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Anyhow,
well, thank you, Abby, for co-hosting.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Abby, for coming on as a co-host.
Thank you.
We had arranged for her to come on as a co-host because Jared originally was going to go glorified camping. We call it glamping over here, right? He was going to go glamping, and then because of family members being sick and whatnot, I guess that got scraped. So we've had a full session here, panelists, and
but this has been spectacular. Everybody who's watching and who has now, thank you so much for all the comments. Look at that, they're just still pouring in. Energy has been amazing.
Just
great interview, guys. People are still commenting, so.
Wow. Yeah. Anyhow, I can't remember.
Yeah, we should have built an ark because.
I don't know what we'd do without your dad jokes, dude. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, Jamie. And to you, Abby, enjoy the rest of your evening. Same to you, Jared.
Thank you.
Where's your coffee, Jamie?
I smashed that at the start. Might be time for another one.
Right. I'm gonna go get some
Still
sleep.
hyped up on caffeine.
I know. So if you're watching this don't forget to hashtag live. If you're watching this on the replay, hashtag replay. Get your notepad, your pen, your paper, because you're gonna have to write down a lot of notes throughout this live broadcast. There are a lot of nuggets, a lot of
It's like a
value
master
bombs.
class.
I gotta rewatch it honestly because I started to write notes and then I was like, there's too much to write notes on.
Yeah, that's right. You gotta go. Get ready for the dad jokes from Jared.
Love it.
Jared's just
Yes,
an master of the dad jokes. All right. Anyway, thanks everybody.
Big Pun.
It's been a complete utter pleasure. I gotta roll. I gotta bolt.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Peace.
It's been an honor, Jamie.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, thought I was frozen there for a second.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway, and in the driveway.